Shows is the number one thing that is stopping martial arts owners from consistently getting 10 to 15 students every single month. And I'm going to go over why hardly anyone is showing up and show you how to get from 30% show rate to all the way to 100% show rate. And if you're wondering who's this guy just talking to you on screen, talking about all this stuff, well, I'm Benjamin Adams, and I run a martial arts company that helps martial arts schools get more students. And in the meantime, I just make these free videos so that hopefully one day, from watching these free videos and actually taking action from these free videos, you would have made enough money so you can pay my company. So yeah, let's just get into it. So the first thing I'm going to go over is that I actually talk about why people aren't showing up in the first place and why you're getting bookings, or why you're getting so many leads and those leads are booking in, but why hardly of them are showing up. So the first reason why so many people don't actually show up is because really you don't really give them a reason to show up. Now, what I mean by this is more the case that that's safe for to actually expand on this point. A doctor's appointment. Actually, say a doctor's appointment. Right? If you book in a doctor's appointment, are you going to show up? Yes or no? Why? Let's say if you book. Actually, context. Let's say you booked in the doctor's appointment, and you're booking the doctor's appointment because maybe your foot, or maybe your leg, or maybe your hand, or whatever it is, like severely hurting or just hurting at all, right? So you book that appointment. What are the chances of you actually showing up to that appointment? It's going to be 100%, right? Especially when you have a foot that's hurting and you want to get sorted, or your something's going on in your body or whatever. Like, of course you're going to show up because you want that problem to be solved. And that's why you'll show up. And then the same way in the martial arts sense, if you have a reason, if you don't have a reason to show up, or if you don't have a strong enough reason to show up to the martial arts school, then people are not going to show up. For example, let's say in the more martial arts sense, let's say if a parent wants to do martial arts and they told you on the phone when they're about to be booked in and scheduled in for a time and no session, let's say they want to do martial arts is because their kid is coming home with black eyes every single day, they're getting bullied, they're beaten up, daddy, and the reason why they wanted to do martial arts is because of that reason. Well, what are the chances of them actually showing up to the school to actually do the martial arts, to actually take part of your free trial or whatever type of offer you're doing? What are the chances of that actually happening? It's going to be like 100%. Why? Because the reason that we want to do martial arts is so strong that of course they're willing to drive 10, 20, 30 minutes to the school, waste their petrol, not really waste, but spend their petrol and time and money actually traveling to your location, because the reason they have to do martial arts is so strong. The reason they have to do martial arts is so strong that they want to get rid of it. It's a really, really big problem that they have, and they want it fixed. But on the other hand, if a person just says, or a person, the reason why you ask them, when you ask them why do you want to do martial arts, when you're booking them in for a call, and they say they just want to do it because they want their kid to expend some energy or get them to do an activity, there's not like there's the reason why they want to do it is not really like a strong reason. It's not as strong as if the kid's getting beaten up, or if the kid's getting bullied or whatever, or if the kid's having like serious confidence issues to the point where the kid doesn't want to go outside. If they're not like facing that strong of a reason, the chances of them actually showing up is going to be lower. Why? Because the reason that they have for wanting to do martial arts, or wanting their kid to do martial arts, is going to be, it's not really that strong, right? So that's pretty much the reason why people don't really show up, and this is the reason why people are actually getting 30-40% show rates, because the people that they are booking in aren't really that interested. Well, they're not really, it's not the fact they're not interested, it's more the case they don't have a strong enough reason to actually travel 20-30 minutes to your location, or however long it takes to actually travel to your location, just to do like a 40-minute class. To them it's not going to be worth it, because again, the reason that they have is not strong enough. So what we do, and what you may be thinking, like, how do we get them to give a reason, or how do we actually get them to get 100% share rate? How do we get these leads to actually show up, even though they said they will show up, which is quite annoying, and stop giving you those excuses about, hey, sorry, I have to cancel because I have some family issues, or I need to go and run because I forgot I had this last minute appointment or whatever, some like made up excuses on the spot. How do we get rid of those people, and how do we get them to actually show up so they can actually take the free class or take whatever trial offer you do, and actually eventually get them to sign up? So, sorry, I just said noise. Anyway, so what we're going to do is, what we do to actually get them to do that is we ask them to pay a deposit. Now, this deposit is fully refundable. It's only $25. It's fully refundable once they share, right? And I'm actually going to go over why and how we say it, because there's a particular way you need to say it, because if you say it in the wrong way, it comes across as a scam or comes across as untrustworthy, meaning people are just not going to pay the deposit. And if people are not paying the deposit, that means people are just not going to show up, right? So what we do is that we ask for a $25 deposit, and this actually does three things, right, besides actually getting people to show up. So the first thing, it actually acts as a financial qualifier, because if your prices are like 120, 150, or whatever your prices may be, if they can't afford $25 on the spot, how on earth they could afford $150 every single month? How on earth they could afford $300, whatever your prices may be? How they could afford it? They wouldn't be able to, unless your price is like $50 or something, like $70. But like the chances of that actually happening is going to be really rare. So first thing, it actually acts as a financial qualifier. The second thing, it actually has an interest qualifier, because obviously if they're saying they're interested and they're actually going to pay the deposit, they're putting money where their mouth is, essentially. And third thing, and the most important thing, which is the main thing we use it for in the first place, it actually increases your show rate to 100%. And when I say 100%, I mean 100%. Like, we use this for clients, and I think there's only one client that it's not 100%, it's 90% instead. But most clients, it's 100% flat. Just 100% flat. We have no no-shows, no cancels, no reschedules. Everyone that paid the deposit showed. Every single person that paid showed. So, yeah. And so what I'm going to do now is actually show you how we say this, because at the beginning, when we actually first implemented the deposit, it really did matter in terms of how we said it and how we kind of structured the call a little bit. Because what we did is, a lot of the time we found out that the way we said it actually did impact if they would trust us or not, or would actually pay the deposit in the first place. So what I'm going to do now is actually going to just share my screen and show you how to say it. And yeah, let's get into it. Cool, so I'm sharing my screen. So yeah, this is the calling script. This is the script that we use to book people in. But in this as well, I'm actually going to show you how you're actually going to ask for the deposit as well. So I'm only going to go up to here, because this is the deposit. This is only up to all the way to here, because this is the only things you only really need to know. So the way we structure our call, so we can actually get 100% deposit paid on the call there and then, unless they just don't have the money. And if they don't have the money, then they won't have the money for your classes anyway, unless you do like some scholarship funding thing for them. But anyway, so this is how we structure the call. So first we just do the intro. Hi, I saw you requested for more info for kids martial arts. If you're running ads, or you're promoting, or if this is an adults lead, then obviously to say swap the kids out for the adults is now a good time to talk. And you want to ask for 10 to 15 minutes. Now these two parts is actually going to make or break it in terms of actually if they're going to pay the deposit or not, right? And I'm going to tell you why in a sec. I'm going to tell you why. So basically, if you first of all ask them questions to do with martial arts, and if you get them to ask questions about anything they would want to know, it makes you seem that you are legit well, you are legit because you're the one who's calling them, but it makes you seem to them on their side that you actually are legit. You're not a scam, you're actually a real human being, and this is actually your business, and they're not going to get scammed in any way, right? Or you're just legit, right? So, and in this way, because you're going to be asking questions of your own and answering any of their questions, what's going to happen? They're going to feel more comfortable with you, and they're going to feel that you're actually legit, which would actually help later down the line when you're asking for the deposit. So you won't have any rejections because if you don't make them feel comfortable with you, or make them feel like you are legit and you actually, this is your business and this isn't a scam in any type of way, you need to get them to ask questions that only if you own the business would know. And because of this, it makes them feel comfortable, so you don't have objections of, hey, I don't want to pay the deposit because I don't feel comfortable with this. Hey, I don't want to pay the deposit because I don't trust you, or anything that is kind of trust-related objections. They wouldn't have that because at that point, because you answered all the questions, you asked your questions, and answered all the questions, they would trust you because you would answer the questions that they have answered. You would only know how to answer them because you actually own the business, right? So anyway, you ask these couple of questions, like, has your child done martial arts before? What got you interested in the first place? Are they doing other activities? What's your kid's name? How old is the kid? And since we're located in X and Miami, Tallahassee, Denver, New York City, like whatever where you're located, I'm going to actually get a copy of this in the description as well, so you can actually just use it yourself. So journey, and also this is a question where we just ask, like, hey, after the trial class or whatever offer, this is our prices, is this good with you? Most people say yes, even though, to be fair, I did say the deposit is like it actually acts as a financial qualifier. We do have this as well, but what happens is that even if you ask this question, if you ask people this, hey, this is our prices after the trial class, $120 a month, a lot of them say yes. Like, a lot of the people say yes, but when it comes to the actual paying the deposit, then you start seeing the people who are just flat out broke and just don't have the money and just really just there for the free trial. Right? It gets with those people as well, which is another thing as well. So yeah, ask this question, and then what you want to do now is just basically ask them to see if they have any questions. Do they want to know about the schedule? Do they need to know the price, and how many people in the class, what they need to wear, just anything. Just answer any of the questions, which you should already know. Most people just go straight to the scheduling. But essentially in this part, you just want them to get all their questions out in the open so you can answer all of them, so they feel more comfortable and they actually trust you, which is the main important thing. Yeah. So once all the questions are answered, once you've done this part, right, now you want to actually move on to actual scheduling. And the way we actually ask and say or position the scheduling is that we say it's in order to actually schedule a class, since you're not a member, we have to actually reserve it on our calendar. And by doing this and saying it this way, it makes it seem like this is like a special thing, like a special process that you have to do or go through since they're not a member. Which we actually do say, like, hey, we need to do this because you're not a member. And we also do say we need to go through a couple steps since you're not a member. So we kind of just reaffirming the fact that because you're not a member, we have to go through certain things. We have to do some things that are just different from what normal members have to do. So first thing that we get sorted off is that we get them to choose a date and time for them to come in, like what class schedules are good for them and what times. We have a link for this. I'm not going to click on it because it goes go through our clients' class times, but essentially it's just like a booking link, like a normal Calendly booking link, or like a normal go high level Calendly link, and it just shows them a bunch of times. Well, we just book it in on our end. So for example, if I was going to call a lead, I'll go through this, I'll click on this link, and it will send me to a bunch of the client's class times, and I will just pretty much say which times you want to go for, which day and which times you want to go for. and we just put all their details in. And once I choose the time, I put all their details in, like first name, email, and phone number. Yeah, pretty much. But what I do as well is that once I put all the details and everything, I don't click schedule or don't click book or the book in button, because that would just send a bunch of automation text that we don't want to send it since I haven't made the deposit. So once we put the details in, then I ask for the deposit. So now, in order to reserve your spot, we do ask for $24 deposit since you're not a member, and you'll be fully refunded once you show up. Now, if that's okay, you can either tell me the card info if you're not comfortable with that, which I totally understand. I can send you the link to our secure online payment form, which you can follow on your end. We'll do those as well. Now, by saying this, first of all, because they already trust you by this point, because you answer all the questions and anything really, they will trust you by this point. So a lot of the time what I found is that most people would actually just go for the link, but what you need to do is you need to actually get them to pay on the phone there and then. So if they ask for the link, give them the link, text them the link there and then, but you need them to pay on the phone while you're on the phone, because what happens is that if they don't pay on the phone, they ask like, hey, I'll pay it later, Most of the time, there's some cases where people do say or ask, hey, can I pay this later, and they actually do pay it later. But most of the time what happens is that people go away and say, yeah, I'll pay it later, but they never pay it, and just forget, quote unquote. They will forget. And if they forget, and once they forget or once they go away, once you do call them again to see if they actually paid it, they will just block your number. Because a lot of the time, from personal experience, when we asked for the deposit and we gave them a link, which I stupidly allowed them to go away, they just, when we try and get in contact with them back a couple of hours later to kind of finish the rest of the call because of the other things I need to go over with them, they just ghost. They either block our number or they're just like ghost and never to be heard of again, like just like that. So it's really, really important to get them to pay over the phone there and then. And this is why we ask at the start, hey, do you have 10 to 15 minutes? Because if they don't have 10 to 15 minutes and they're like 2 minutes, but you got to the stage of deposit, then they're just most likely going to ghost you. So yeah, because by this stage you'll probably be about like 7 minutes in, 7-10 minutes into the call by the time you actually reach the deposit. Answer all the questions, gonna ask you all questions, answer all the questions they have, and go over like what time is best suited for them. By the time we reach here, you would have been about 10 minutes in. So yeah, but that's pretty much it. That's how we actually get people to show up. Right? Yeah, that's how we do the show up. And again, the main reason why they don't show up to school, because you haven't given them an actual reason to show up. Goes on go back to the analogy of a kid getting bullied. If a kid will get bullied, obviously they'll show up because they want that problem to be solved, or they have a strong enough reason to travel 20-30 minutes because a kid is coming home with black eyes, or like the other person that will come home that has a kid that just wants them to do an extra activity so they can expend the extra energy they have. It's not really a strong enough reason as like their kid getting beaten up. So yeah, but yeah, and what else do I need to think? Yeah, and also this, by doing the deposit, it does act as financial qualifiers, interest qualifier, and actually most importantly, it actually gets people to show up. What you would find is that you would get less bookings. You'll get less bookings, but that being said, the bookings that you will get will be super qualified, 100% people qualified, because the people that won't book in or won't pay the deposit are also the people that won't sign up, and those are the people that are just looking for a free class or looking for a free trial. So by doing this, you are getting rid of a bunch of people that are just going to be a waste of your time. So yeah, that's been much it for this video. And yeah, if you also are a martial arts owner who does need some extra help getting 10 to 15 students every single month, just click the link below. It's on that link, it's just like a sales video. I'm trying to say this on here, but yeah, click if you want. So in that case, hope you actually enjoyed this video.
And yeah, hope you guys found value from me as well. So yeah, see ya.